Rivers State government has stated that there is no going back on the implementation of the 2024 budget, adding that it is too late for it to be represented before any authority. The State Commissioner for Budget and Economic Planning, Professor Peter Mede, who stated this at a one-day public consultation and pre-budget workshop on the 2025 budget estimates, said the 2024 budget was already in its final quarter, stressing that those angling for it to be represented were living in illusion. It would be recalled that an Abuja Federal High Court had ruled that the Rivers State 2024 appropriation bill be presented to the Martin Amehule-led Rivers State House of Assembly. The verdict is now a subject of appeal at the Supreme Court. However, Mede noted that the 2024 budget was part of a medium-term framework which had been approved by the State Executive Council and the Edisineye Factional State House of Assembly. Mede insisted that the 2024 budget cannot be represented, saying, "It is regrettable that the 2024 Rivers State appropriation, which has performed to the end of the third quarter, will still be expected to be targeted at by some unpatriotic, overzealous, gullible and ambitious antagonists of our state. These are people who still think that a budget that has passed through these stages with exceptionally higher performance can be reversed under any circumstance." He further said budgeting is a process, adding that no agency of government can stop a process of governance. He continues to say, "Let me re-emphasize that the budget is not a book on the shelf of any government. A budget is a process. So when you follow through the process from January 1 to December 31, it is a complete year on the process. And we have done the process from January to October. So it makes no sense of anybody who thinks that the budget has commenced from January 1 to October should be revisited or represented. So that's an academic exercise," he stated. He explained that the pre-budget workshop was intended to offer people of the state the opportunity to examine how the state has performed in the implementation of the 2024 appropriation for the past 9 months. Mede said the workshop was also to appreciate the challenges and make reasonable and well-informed inputs in preparation for the formulation of the 2025 appropriation bill. Interesting. What do you have to say to this story, George?
Chairman, I must say that it's an unfortunate situation for a professor, to come out and be saying what he's saying. The budget is a legal document, and for a budget to have that legal effect, it must pass through stages. The assembly, that's the legislature, have a role to play because they are the true representative of the people. So when the executive form the budget, they take to the assembly who will go through it, after which they will now pass it into law. Once they pass it, it becomes a legal document that the executive government can now use to work. Unfortunately, they presented this budget to Edisineye-led assembly, which the court has said was never speaker. And the court has directed that they should represent this budget to the authentic House of Assembly led by Martin Amehule. Unfortunately, for the government of Rivers State, over time, keep playing with the position of the law, trying to buy time and all of that, continue to exercise, what I call an impeachable offense. Because that you are a government, you were given that position by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The same Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria gave the Assembly that authority to oversee what the budget is. So the government is not just about the executive. The government is both the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary coming together to form a government. All of them have their distinct roles and responsibilities. So the executive should not usurp the powers of the legislature. You are presented to someone who the law has said this person was never speaker. You can't put something on nothing. You cannot stand something on nothing.
But the commissioner is saying that they have presented the budget.
Presented to who? It was illegal at that instance.
And approved by the State Executive Council.
No, listen. State Executive Council is part of the executive arm of government. Budgetary process must pass through the legislature. And
they are arguing, they are of the opinion that it passed through the legislature. And
the court, which is the interpreter of the law, has come to say that the group of persons that you send this thing to, we are illegal. As at the time you sent that in, they were never constituted to be River State House of Assembly. Therefore, you have to re-represent this to the authentic house. Unfortunately, they have refused to do so.
Now let's look
and
at
somebody is coming out to say what is he saying? Okay, ordinarily in the same country where the law works, a person like that should be behind bars. Yes, because it's contempt of the court.
But okay, now, Judge, he said on one hand, he talked about the fact that it's a process and that they followed the due process. That's his point. Now, he raised a second issue there, and the issue he raised was the fact that the budget, Nigerian budget right now with the commencement of President Tinubu's administration started running a full circle budget. So now we are running a full circle budget, and he said that this budget started January 1 and is to run through December 31. And right now we are in October, a few days to the end of October. And he is of the opinion that the budget has completed its third quarter. It's almost at the completion right now. So now, are you expecting, that's his argument, are you expecting that they represent a budget where for the past 9 months, the government has been spending from this budget?
Choma, you must agree with me that there should be consequences for every action. As at that January he's talking about, Justice Omotosho has already given a judgment on this matter, identifying with the House of Assembly led by Martins Amehule and asking them, the River State government, to re-represent that budget. They refused deliberately. And now you're coming to tell us that the budget has run a full circle. There should be consequences for every action taken. This was deliberate by the River State government. Unfortunately, I really don't know what is happening in this country that even those who are saddled with responsibility of enforcing the law are not doing anything about it.
What is the police to do at this point? Because now when the court gives judgment, you agree with me that the police is saddled with the responsibility of enforcing court orders and judgments.
The police is powerless because it has to do with
yes,
a state government that has immunity.
The governor, on the other hand, has immunity. Now, when Justice Omotosho on January 22nd gave this judgment, asking the governor to represent, it was more like an order of mandamus, because that order mandated the governor. It was more of an order of mandamus, asking the governor, mandating the governor to present the budget to Martins Amehule, led House of Assembly, and by his judgment authenticating Martins Amehule. The governor came out to say that they are already, no, he didn't answer. It was when the appeal court gave their judgments that the governor answered, after Martins Amehule wrote to the governor with regards to the appeal court, not the last one. There are 2 appeal court judgments. The first one of Justice Wale. And after that, there was a plenary by Martins Amehule where they wrote a letter to the governor asking the governor to present the budget to River State House of Assembly and telling him that he is working with impostors, people who are not known because, they were not screened by the River State House of Assembly. The governor came out to answer. However, before that, the governor, the state government got an ex parte order barring the clerk of the house, barring the commissioner for justice, and the governor from receiving any correspondence or impeachment notice from the River State House of Assembly. After which the governor came out and said that, they are already making plans for the 2025 budget. And here we are right now. So these arguments now, a lot of persons on my show, some stakeholders have said that the only solution to this right now is a political solution to the budget issue. Now, if a court gives judgment, Chinda, can the parties, both the appellants and the respondents in this instance, decide to set aside the judgment of the court and go for a political solution, particularly considering the peculiarity of the crisis in Rivers State?
No, I don't think that once the court gives a judgment, a verdict on this particular matter, that the parties involved can decide to set it aside and bring up what we call political solution. The time for political solution is almost running out, because any judgment that is given by the court becomes a reference for future. So you cannot set it aside to say you want to do something. So it's better that they have not given a judgment, the both parties involved go there to withdraw the matter and apply political solutions to resolving the intractable issue involving the River State government and the House of Assembly in River State. But like I said, there should be consequences for every action.
How do you look at this issue? Isn't the governor right now, if he is to go with this judgment by Justice Omotosho, which has been affirmed by the appeal court, is that not him being in between the devil and the deep?
That is exactly the line. I've been hammering that there should be consequences for every action. It's not as if, in fact, even in law, ignorance is not tenable.
Excusable.
It's not excusable. This is not even the case of ignorance. From January of this year, Justice Omotosho has given a judgment. The man deliberately refused to abide by that judgment and continue to buy time. So for me, it's an impeachable offense. Once the court has affirmed that, which they have from the lower court to the appellate court, if the Supreme Court stamps it, that matters, which we are expecting to be based on the provisions of the law.
What is the provisions of the
law?
No.
Based on the matter that is before them.
Yes.
If the Supreme Court eventually stamps it, then I think the House of Assembly should know what to do. There should be consequences. That the fact that you're a governor or you're a president, that is why we have the rule of law as against the rule of might. We have checks and balances. Each of those arms of government complement and checks each other. Because if you don't do that, then one man will become too powerful and begin to act arbitrarily. So unfortunately, the governor of Rivers State has failed to understand that he's the governor does not mean that there are no checks. The assembly have oversight function of ensuring that there's balance.
Now, I think, Judge, this is probably where you'd be at variance with the perspective and the stance of the governor. I say this because